Hey everybody, welcome to Axiom Token Channel, your host Superman in the house. So today I thought we'd look at the Zen protocol and of course do a Zen price prediction and of course look at the supply numbers and all the bullish roadmap coming ahead. It's pretty impressive stuff happening here. So let's get into it, no further ado. Here we are on the Zen price, so that's XEN. And of course the founder is Jack Levin, a former Google employee, number 21 as they say. And he has been taking crypto by storm through a very unorthodox approach to crypto, and of course has launched the Zen on 10 chains and also looking to launch on Bitcoin inscriptions as well. So that would be make kind of a number 11 there. So pretty big impact on the market. Let's have a quick look at the price at the moment. Obviously, people have made a light of the project given the price went down way down from the launch all the way down 99.9%. But you can't count a good thing down because Zen is being used as a medium of exchange and of course being burned. So all the inflation is being burned, and of course then you have deflation. But there are other supply sinks as well, like staking and of course penalties for people that forget to mint their Zen. So essentially Zen is based on first principles, with the idea being that anybody can mint their own Zen, and they can do that for close to free. You got to pay the network fees. For example, ETH on Ethereum and so forth. So pretty interesting. Obviously, it's launched on BNB chain, Polygon, Avalanche, and several others. So it's pretty big. So here we are. We've got the price at the moment. It looks like it's hit the bottom and recovering there. So if we just zoom in a bit closer here, it looks like around about the 9th of March, it hit the bottom. And of course, the low price there was 6 zeros, I think it was. Yeah, 6 zeros, 686. So pretty interesting. And it has managed to drop off a lot of zeros since then, at least 1 0 since then, and is up now to 3,425. So with 5 zeros in front, that is an increase of 400%. So 5x returns. So very nice if you picked it up off the bottom there. Now, obviously, people that were in the know knew that there was going to be massive inflation in the beginning. But of course, the minting benefits get smaller and smaller over time, over an 8-year period, but particularly the first couple of years, it really does drop a lot there. The EAA, which is part of the bonuses, has gone to 0 on Ethereum. And I think Avalanche is the last one that has a pretty decent one. It's at 7.5% bonus. But nevertheless, even if it goes to 0, people can continue to mint out at the higher rates as that goes down over time. That is based on a log2 function, so just remember that if you want to know the tokenomics. In any case, it has risen 400% there, pretty dramatic. I'm actually pretty bullish on the outlook of the price over the next week, and particularly the next couple of weeks in particular. But further afield, it would really depend on the roadmap. Roadmap is pretty exciting. So what do we had so far? We had the Zen NFTs, which have helped burn a lot of Zen, and particularly the X unicorns. They've all gone for $1 trillion. Zen was burned from that. We've had the DB Zen project launch. It's kind of like a DGen passive income project. And that's had novel traction. That has been super successful so far. We're going to talk about that in a second. And that's actually what's led to not all, but the bulk of this price appreciation. We'll see why it's sort of self-fulfilling cycle there. So we're going to have a look at that. I'm pretty bullish for a move higher on the price as well. So that's probably where the price prediction will lie, is that the price will likely move higher. And we're going to look at substantiate that, why that would be over the next a week, and particularly next couple of weeks in particular. Further afield, of course, we're going to look at the roadmap. Could potentially make the Zen ultra deflationary. We'll talk about that as well. So let's get into the price here. That's where we are at the moment, looking pretty good. Let's have a look at the summary at the moment. Even though we're down 3.3% on the 24 hours, it's actually looking pretty attractive. You can see that the liquidity is now up to 1.3 million on the top trading pair Zen wrapped ETH. So that's pretty exciting to see that moving in the right direction. So let's have a look at the supply side. Shall we have a look at the supply side tokenomics and get into that? Let's do that. So here we are on the supply side economics. We're going to go to Zen Turbo for that and see that we're now down to 9 trillion and 17 billion Zen in liquid supply. That's incredible. That has really been capped, and it's actually going down. So that's super bullish, folks. And quite a few percentage of those are actually held in on a lot of the exchanges, which we can see as well. So if we pick up the exchange, go have a look at the contract, we can see Zen over to the right here. Let's pull that up. And we can go to the top holders in Zen. You can see the supply is the same number here on Etherscan. Go to the holders. We can see that a lot of the supply is on Gate.io, 11.5%. Mex.com, that's the Chinese exchange at 8.5%. Huobi 10, it's got an account 5% there as well. Obviously Uniswap, which is where a lot of stuff is traded on the DeFi, it's got 2.2%. Uniswap V3 at 1.1%, and some large accounts in here as well. We also got some more MEXC exchange accounts here. BuyTrue as well is in there with 0.63%. So that makes it kind of sticky, right? It makes it kind of sticky in terms of you got the total supply is shrinking, and you got a certain amount that's on these exchanges, either through the exchange itself or through depositors, and it's quite sticky that way. So you can see it gets really, really bullish here. Now, in the week ahead in particular, I'm looking at potentially that we could get down to 8.5 trillion. That assumes no more launches. So just DBZN just ticking away there, burning away as it is. I'm going to look at that in a second. But let's just do the overview here. I'm going to scroll down right down to the future supply. So this is the future mints. So there's a large amount expected to mint in the future, 77.3 trillion. About 2.5% of this is likely to be forgotten about. That's at the current rates where people are forgetting to claim, and therefore that this doesn't come to market. But let's have a look at the near term. So we're going to look all the way through to the near term. Let's go even further than we are now. So at the moment, of course, we're on the 10th. So let's go to about the 9th of May. And you can see that we've got some really small days. So the day that just came out, the 9th of April, had about 118 billion come out, and the market absorbed that with some ferocious burning. But in the future, the 10th, you're looking at 49 billion. You're talking about 36 billion on the 11th, and so on, 51 billion on the 12th, 48 billion on the 13th, and you're looking at 37 billion on the 14th. That's hardly nothing compared to what's being burned at the moment. Even if you double that at 80 billion or 120 billion, that's a sort of burning rate. So you're going to see massive deflation potentially. And that's where we go up to the top here, and we may see, all things, depending on what happens with staking, we may see this go down to, say, 8.5 trillion, which is dramatic decrease. And of course, with the stickiness in exchanges as well, for a certain part of the supply, you can see how that puts more upward pressure on the price. Yeah, very exciting. A lot of the big candles have come out. Now, if we look further afield, we can see that we've got one candle here on the 16th that's got 107 billion. We've got another candle here on the 23rd of April. It's got 111 billion. And then we can see two candles here on the 29th and 30th with around 117, 138 billion. And then, of course, this last big candle in the next month on the 7th of May, that's got 160 billion. So in between that, though, all of them are relatively small candles in between those dates, typically weekends. So very, very exciting there for the supply. Now, what's even more bullish is the fact that DBZN is burning a lot. So we're going to have a look at the DBZN price. That is rallying. So that's the DBZN is DXN token, and that's rallying, you can see, pretty aggressively. And of course, DXN, the DBZN also has a meme coin called Exelon that is burning that, and 15% of that's been burned so far. So it's actually burning DXN, making that even deflationary as well. So pretty exciting for the meme coin Exelon there. So let's have a look at the summary numbers here. We're going to go to DBZN here. This is on zen.pub. I'll post the link in the video description. You can see DBZN there on the ETH is pretty small. Let's do a refresh, because you have to refresh this all the time because the people are burning so much. Unbelievable. Look at this. We've got so it goes through 24-hour cycles on the DBZN. We're on day 18 from the looks of it here. 17 days since Genesis and 14 hours. We've got 9 hours to go and 50 minutes. So with 9 hours, 50 minutes to go, we're already up to 62.5 billion Zen has been burned through the DBZN protocol. Unbelievable. That's incredible. Now, when you go in the DBZN protocol, you also have to pay some ETH in there as well. A pretty significant amount of ETH, as well as burning the Zen. And that becomes part of the income flow there as well in the DBZN there. So you can see already 1,080 ETH has gone in with the Zen burn. That's $2 million of ETH as well. So pretty crazy protocol. Anyway, we're not going to get deep dive into the Zen tokenomics, but that is a summary. But we're going to look at the burn on Zen, the underlying medium of exchange. And of course, look at this. Yesterday, a massive 154 billion Zen was burned through the DBZN protocol. Incredible. Now you saw with the days coming ahead that we're looking at 40, 50 million for the next few days. So if you saw that down here, we're only new mints coming in are only around 49 36 billion, etc. for the next few days, 5 days, you can see how bullish potentially the Zen price might get to as a key factor that could lift it up. So pretty crazy stuff on them. Today already, like I say, we're already up at 62.5 billion, and we've still got a lot of time to go at 9 hours and 50 minutes. Going to be crazy to see that as well. So pretty cool. Let's go down to the current cycle, which shows us who's entered today. The biggest one so far is pretty modest compared to yesterday. Yesterday we had about 5 of them over 10 billion burns. The moment top burn is 7.4 billion. Pretty impressive there. So that's worth $25,000 in Zen, and of course the ETH transaction cost 25,000 as well. That's about 50,000. But hey, look, they're in the money at the moment on the DXN reward, almost at 100,000. So it's almost a 2x. So it's going to be interesting to see that as well. And don't forget that the Exxon is burning the DXN as well. It's at 15%, which is pretty amazing. So that's pretty spectacular. You can also see the Exxon dashboard here at the top here as well. So you can go and check this out yourself. You can see that 15.27% of all the DXN has been burned through the Exxon meme coin there, Exxon Mars. So stay tuned. All right, so that is some of the bullish stuff happening there on that. Let us just jump over to the Zen. Therefore, you could potentially see this price move up again with the supply sinks there as well. So I would keep a very good close eye on the Zen supply as it goes down. And hey, look, I think it's got potential to target 8.5 trillion over the next 5 days. Could be pretty interesting. At least get pretty close. Maybe gets halfway. But given the burn rate at the moment, it's looking pretty aggressive. So that's kind of my target for that. You can also see on the Zen supply here on 10. This is on zenturbo.io. You can see that the supply sinks have all been negative. Look, all this negative supply sinks, amazing. And you can see that yesterday 161 billion was burned. The day before that was 130 billion. So not only have DB Zen, of course, you got other NFTs from the NFTs as well. Now, looking at the roadmap ahead, if you think that's good, the roadmap ahead, we've got a Phoenix, which is getting very close. That's going to be a massive, like a Hex type of staking protocol. We're going to get the Night inscriptions, which are related to the Bitcoin inscriptions. And of course, they're going to be early 500,000 underneath the 500,000 inscriptions. They've got cool artwork. I'm going to talk about that. So that's coming up. In fact, we've got a picture of that here. Here's the picture here. Coming soon, the Zen Knights. And you can see the really cool artwork for that. They've had a professional artist do that from the Zen community. And of course, they're going to be auctioned off. So that could be a massive burn for those. You may be surprised what those go for. And then, of course, we've also got the Moon Party. So for full moon, massive auctions there for the Zen X1 chain there. So it's going to be big as well. So 3 big protocols. And then after that, we've got the next protocol coming up later in the year, probably. So stay tuned to the roadmap. It's going to be very critical regarding the Zen burn. So taking the market by storm there, a very different path to value. So we're going to be watching this over the next year or so. It's going to be pretty interesting to see that play out. Remember that there are all these mints coming up in the future. And of course, if we zoom out all to the max period, there's all this mints to be minted out. And of course, at the end of this whole phase, perhaps in the new year in 24, we will see the X1 chain there, which is in testnet or a launch as well. So it's going to be fun to see that. You can follow Jack Levin, of course, the founder at Jack Levin on his Twitter account. He's posting a lot about the ecosystem and all the really cool developments that's happened as well. So you can follow him from all that as well. Yeah, so the X1 chain there and XN tokens as well. So people are going to be chasing down those layer 1 tokens too. So building the ecosystem and then the chain, interesting part to the value. And of course, the medium of exchange being Zen and all the ecosystem projects burning Zen to participate in their DeFi programs. And some of them are DGM projects. Some of them will be, a classic DeFi. It's going to be fun to see this roadmap play out. Potentially, we might see DEXs as well. He's talked about that sort of thing, and maybe standard bank type products coming too, including flash loans. So stay tuned with all that. Pretty exciting stuff. Hope you guys enjoyed this introductory video to Zen and some insights there. And watch out for this price. It's going to be pretty interesting to see where it goes with that supply squeeze. Going to be a lot of fun. All right, take care, everybody. Don't forget to subscribe, like, share, hit the bell, and leave your comments, and I'll respond to those also. And bye for now.